Madeline Soto, we keep learning more and more about the horrible life that she was enduring while she was in the care of her mother, Jen Soto, and her boyfriend, Stephan Stearns. A crazy, crazy atmosphere in which mom herself even said, "Hey, you know what? Go sleep with my daughter." I don't think she was implying sex. At least I hope she wasn't. But, it's okay. I want to sleep in today. Go ahead and go sleep with my boyfriend. Even when they weren't together, came over to visit. Go sleep together. This sounds like a good idea. The questions are continuing to mount about Jennifer Soto. Stephan Stearns, he's on a trail to possibly death. He has two upcoming trials, one for the sexual abuse and then for the first-degree murder. Jen, though, she's still free as of this recording. There's a lot out there, a lot of questions. Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent, chief of the counterintelligence behavioral analysis program. There's a laundry list here I want to go through some of these things that Jen Soto has inconsistent statements on or just seem to be flat out lies. What's your take on it thus far? We got Stephan, like I said, two trials coming up, likely going to be death. Or they are going to seek the death penalty. And with this case, I don't know how he's not going to end up there. Where do you think this goes for Jen going forward?
Well, good on him. Get rid of them. There's no fixing that. He is
No.
he is he is just pure evil in this world, and yeah, he needs to go away. Because he will do it again. You cannot heal that. It's
Hmm.
just bad.
Yeah.
Her, I still think they're waiting on charges, waiting to kind of figure out how far they can go with the charges.
Hmm.
She's culpable. There's no doubt that she's culpable. It's just a matter of how they can prove the culpability is what I think they're waiting on. I think they're doing a lot of digital forensics here to kind of see and kind of track any kind of text messages going back and forth that can actually bring as evidence, because she's going to garner a lot of sympathy with a good defense attorney,
Hmm.
as being trauma bonded and a victim in this as well. And so I think what prosecution is probably trying to do is trying to get hard evidence showing that culpability. Kind of like when it's a little bit different, but we think about Chad Daybell. My initial thing was, hey, he's going to play the sympathy factor because he's manipulated by Lori,
Hmm.
because he's just a dope and a mope. But when you saw the text messages, you're like, nope, he's completely culpable, and bingo, the proof is in the pudding, and he got convicted of it. And I think the same thing's going on here. Is that defense is thinking we can go for a sympathy theme here to kind of get as little as we can, but I think prosecution is waiting to get some really good hard evidence about her culpability in this, as well as I've said before, they want to undo a network here. It's not just going to be her that they're going after. They're going to be going after a lot of people. I think it takes time to not just track the people that he's in touch with social media wise on the dark web for trafficking, not just images, but potentially trafficking humans, because there's potential here of her being charged with human trafficking as well as of her daughter, as well as has she done this before? This is going to take a lot of time and investigation, especially if she was also involved in the dark web with a lot of anonymity. So there's a lot of things going on here that are behind the scenes we don't know. I think that's why we're seeing a slow walk on charges.
Something that stood out to me when I was looking through some of those documents over the weekend, uh, the bedrooms in Jen Soto's apartment numbered. Who
Hmm.
the hell numbers the rooms in their house and goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna sleep in this room. Why don't you go to room 4 and sleep with my daughter?" Literally, it's in the document. Room 4 is what they went to. That seemed to me that really raised my eyebrows on, oh, is there like a lot of trafficking going on here? And like, you get room 1, I mean, I've only seen that like there used to be a show on HBO called Cat House where it was about a brothel, and they're like, you go to room
Yep.
5 or whatever. I mean, that's the
Yep.
only time I've ever like seen such a thing kind of be played out other than like, a hotel.
Yep. The probability of him being involved in that and potentially a ringleader is high in my mind. Again, we
Mhm.
don't know until we see evidence and all that. And so I think that's what they're trying to do with her is, at the very least, if she's paying any sort of the bills on this house and it's being used in that way, there's culpability there. I mean, so she's hosed. I mean, it's just a matter of them deciding at what level she's going to be hosed.
Well, and her inconsistent statements. Initially, she said that she saw her getting dressed in the morning. Initially, in one of the statements, she said that we dropped her off at school, and then backed
Yep.
that up to my partner dropped her off at school. Uh, these aren't just statements that are like, "Oh, oops." I mean, it seems like, oh, you have a reason why you need to change the story, not just I messed up and I spoke incorrectly or something like that. It's a lot of catching things. Her demeanor during the interactions with law enforcement, especially when they were at that office in that recent video that we saw come out, very calm, even jovial at times. There was something that was said at the end, and like they're all joking. I cannot imagine. I can think of a smile that would come near my face if my daughter was missing. Now, I
Yeah.
know that's me. It's most parents, I think, that love and care about their children. Tells me a lot about just her lack of empathy to what was going on, or lack of emotional impact on her that her
Or the
daughter's
behavior.
missing. Yeah.
Yeah, the behavior shows you that this isn't the first rodeo because it's been part of a pattern in her life potentially.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I've seen this before. I've seen parents traffic their own children. So
Why?
that's why my mind goes there on this
Yeah.
one. Especially as soon as I saw those numbered rooms, I'm like, oop. Because again, I'm an empathetic person.
Yeah.
Empathy from, understanding the world from someone else's point of view, the tragedy of her being involved with an incredibly toxic individual that was sexually abusing her daughter. But as you start seeing the data points falling out here, you're like, ooh, no, there's a lot more going on with her culpability and involvement than was originally seen. Especially as that video, like you said, that you referenced of that interview of them reporting her daughter missing was really, really telling because she was reporting it as if, one of your students at school didn't come to school, not as one of her daughter was gone and missing.
I've seen people far more. I mean, your pet's missing. There's a lot more emotion going on, and this was just a lack of anything there. It
And
was,
also the use of the past tense in referencing her daughter during that too.
yeah,
That is always a clear indicator. I'm always looking for tense
yeah.
when listening to people talking about victims and people missing, because tense is a great indicator of the knowledge level of the individual sharing the information.
I'm going to assume they have eyes on her right now. That if she does try to run or something, that's not going to go very far. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.